Hello everyone, Douglas Walt, Old Man Comic Book Reviews, coming at you with probably the fastest reviews ever. I bought the comic books yesterday, Comic Book Wednesday, and then read them at work today, and am here alone at the Walt's compound, so I have an opportunity to review the comic books. So let's go ahead and get to it. Here's our new stack. It's not too bad. I think we have some new ones in here. Let's find out. First up is Miles Morales. This is issue 33. And our writer is still Cody Ziegler. Marco Renna is our artist. We are in part 2 of God War, where Anansi, the spider god, is picking a fight with Ares. And they have to pick their champions. And the champion choices are odd, to say the very, very least. This is really good. There's a big reveal at the end that I will not share with you. You should read that yourself. To be honest, I'm not really sure who the character is. I'll have to look her up later, but it was an interesting, unexpected kind of thing. Next up, we have issue 4 of Silverhawks. No, I'm not doing the screaming noise. Writer is Ed Brisson. Artist is George Cambadeus. And we have people that are from the Mime Planet, and we have the little Mime Kid, and they're filling in all the blanks to give us a new set of Silverhawks while still getting an old set of Silverhawks. This is one of those where it's less fighty, more exposition, which you need in a good comic book from time to time, and issue 4 is a good spot to do it. Still a great book. Art, as always, is good. Alright, number 5 of Aquaman. And let's find us our thing here. Maybe. I wish they would just always put it in the same place. Don't I complain about that a lot, though? Let's, want to go to the end? We'll look there. No, I don't see it there either. Alright, slower. Slow and steady wins the race. Everyone else get out of my face. Alright, let's see. Because Aquaman has gone to a underground city that is actually has air breathers. I found the credits. And now he has to team up with Captain Nemo. Yes, that Captain Nemo, which I thought was fascinating. Our writer is Jeremy Adams. Our artist is John Timms. And so, yeah, Captain Nemo's in it. We got big bad guys. We got Arthur doing what Arthur does best, which is fighting. And this is classic Aquaman. This is just some good stuff here. I'm glad that they finally got someone to do this. All right, another one shot in the Godzilla Marvel thing. Godzilla versus the X-Men. We're supposedly supposed to get... Oh, let's get the credits out of the way here. Fabian Nicenza is our writer. Emilio Lasso is our art. And it starts you right off with one of these sideways panels of Godzilla. Godzilla versus the X-Men. And it's the X-Men where it's Gambit, Beast, Storm, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Cyclops, and they're wearing these costumes. So it gives, because they're not following the same time period. When Godzilla attacks Japan, they're informed of this attack by Sunfire, who I thought was cool. An interesting idea of how to use the super adaptoid to fight Godzilla. Another sideways panel I thought was pretty cool. This one's okay. This is fine. The winner so far still is the Hulk, followed by Spider-Man, followed by this, followed by Fantastic Four. And there's an interesting Sentinel in here as well. They use mechanical versions of Rodan, Batra, and Biollante to make a Sentinel to fight Godzilla. So they're calling him a mutant at this point, I guess. I don't know. It's very good. Next up apparently is Godzilla versus the Avengers, and it looks like it's Spider-Man, Luke Cage, Wolverine, Spider-Woman, Iron Man, Captain America, Avengers. I remember that. I remember that group. So yeah, good book. All right, what's next? Daredevil number 21. When last we left this poor man, he looked goopy doopy. He got mushroomy. Salman Ahmed is our writer. Pencilers, they broke it up. The pencilers for pages 1 through 15 is Jose Luis Soras. The inker is Oren Jr. For pages 16 through 20, Carlos Nieto is the penciler and the inker. And then they even had to give up on the coloring, so they were trying to get this thing out. It's interesting to watch how Matt's powers work, because he's fighting a fungus at this point, a giant interconnected fungus. There's the theory that all mushrooms are connected and way smarter than us. So lots of full panel action, lots of weird stuff, people getting turned into mushroom men, like Attack of the Mushroom People, Matango. So, and I don't know who the bad guy is. He's a mushroom man. But it was still good. Did I say it was issue 21? I did. All right. I wasn't excited for this. Godzilla was they did the pirate one. Godzilla, Here There Be Monsters. This is Godzilla, Here There Be Aliens, the third arc in a book I'm not really fond of. This is written by Frank Thierry, art by Angel Hernandez. We're up to President Roosevelt in the timeline. And where before we didn't know there was a Godzilla, we have verification of a Godzilla. And come to find out that the Zillions, those aliens, are in on it. And they have an army of Hedorah, which I think is stupid. So, what are you going to do? Although, at that point in time, there's plenty of pollution to sustain a Hedorah. I just don't believe that the Zillions would mass produce Hedorah, because he got to Earth initially by mistake. He came from out there and crashed into Earth. He was not a Zillion byproduct. I hate when they take the Zillions and say, oh, well, they were doing a lot. No, they weren't. They're not that smart. They get beat every time. So, meh. Finally, I bought a number 1 because they canceled my Power Girl. So I bought issue 1 of Supergirl. I thought this looks fascinating to me. And I'm trying to find is it in the back? They do that a lot with DC Comics. So let me go look real quick. Yes, they did. Okay. Sophie Campbell, the wonderful Sophie Campbell, is giving us everything. Writer, artist, cover artist, and Supergirl's just doing her Supergirl thing with this costume. I like this costume. It's a fine costume. And then she's called, after she does some different adventures, she's called home to Midvale. And I did think it was cool that they had the comb, that when she combs her hair, it changes the color of it, and then she just put on glasses. And apparently there's an imposter who calls herself Supergirl, who I like this Supergirl too. I'm sorry, that's a very nice looking Supergirl. So our Supergirl, the real one, has to solve the mystery. Then she can't be Linda Danvers because the other girl is Linda Danvers as well. I mean, look at this. Look at this voluptuous woman. So that's the first issue. I like it already. Thank God they're letting Sophie Campbell do whatever she wants. Writing, art, all of it. You can get Sophie Campbell to do your comic book. You just tell her that's fine. So, yeah, not a bad stack. Let's go ahead and do our chopping it up and see who wins the thing. Pretty sure it's going to end up being superheroes, because I'm not counting Godzilla. And yeah, I mean, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 superhero books and 1 not superhero book. So that's how that works. I encourage you to go get, if you like any of the super family at all, My favorite was always Power Girl. Um, and she's like super family adjacent. So Sophie Campbell, Supergirl, is going to be the one to get. I recommend you jump on that train now before they're in their third printing and you're still waiting for an issue. Good idea. So I do like this being able to do the comic book show faster, sooner, more relevant. If you hadn't noticed, I have a new chair. I got this chair at an estate sale for $2.50. I'd like to brag about that. It's very nice. Rocks a little bit, spins back and forth. So big fun times there. So all right, you know you're old when you're excited about a new chair. That's what does it. Yep. So as always, I like to remind you that you can get comic books in a lot of places. You can go to your local comic book store, see if they have a quarter bin, a 50-cent bin, a dollar bin, some kind of bin. And then just look through, take a time, and look for what you like. Study up online, look and see what the new comic books are, and if anything up there is something that you'd be interested in. That's a great way to figure out a comic book that you would like. And online there's lots of free comic books as well. There's manga, which is another kind of comic book. I don't read a lot of manga. I read one about a killer shark, and then there's a Kamen Rider Kuga manga. So that's pretty much the limit for that. But yeah, just there's so many places. The library. I always tell everyone go to the library. I just got like 7 graphic novels last week that I read. Now I'm caught up on things like Teen Titans and Harley Quinn and stuff like that. Batman. Things I would never buy at the comic book store. I think there are a glut of Batman comic books. I think there's way too many. But to be fair, Marvel does the same thing with Spider-Man. There's, 6 of them? Something? I get 2. Miles Morales Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man. That's enough. I don't need Web of Spider-Man or the Spider Brothers or whatever. And then you got the Venom comic books. There's at least 2 of those. So it's a bit of a glut. I like when people do different things, unless it's messing with my Godzilla mythos, and then I'm pretty much a cranky old man. So what are you going to do? So I was glad that you all came today so you could hear about the comic books that I bought at the comic book store. I'll see you next week. We're trying to not miss episodes anymore since my 3-week hiatus after episode 200, which I hope everyone enjoyed. So, yeah, that's it. I would like you to remember to go read a comic book.